Good day, world. Do you ever just feel like you're going in circles? It's because we are, though. So that's fair. Today, I am going to be talking about shadow work because you fucking need that shit. So, like 3 years ago, I decided to start smoking weed. Like, I made the decision. I was like, fuck raw dogging life. I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna smoke weed. So I went and I had my mom take me to go buy a fucking bowl. And she's like, she calls weed WEE, like she spells it. She won't even say weed. But I was like, Mom, I'm stressed. And so she took me to get my first bowl because I couldn't roll. And I couldn't quit after that. I didn't realize how stressed I was before I found weed, baby. So I was really extra shocked when I found that I had a hard time quitting. I didn't, and I still don't, but maybe I am. I don't know. I am a Pluto and Scorpio generation person. I didn't view myself as a person with the addictive personality, but like the feeling of not giving a fuck was addictive. And I could not find my way back to the space of pure sobriety, raw dogging life, just out here doing it. And I'm like, that's not good. I'm over here meditating and yogaing and getting my whole spiritual thing together, but there's still a numbing factor. So that's the issue. We can take the edge off, but when it becomes like your thing, uh, it numbs. Like if your heart was closed or anything, you're not getting anything, you're not processing, you're not shadow working. So with that being said, I started taking the steps, and I'm in the beginning of letting go of that crutch. That's what I would call that phase, a crutch. So now that that is happening, and I am, I guess, mildly, I don't want to say mildly uncomfortable, um, sitting in the discomfort. And let me close this panel because this is freaking ugly. All right. So sitting in discomfort, that is what shadow work is. It is allowing yourself to feel the feelings that you don't want to feel. And not only are you going to allow yourself to feel them, right? You're going to dig through them, sit with the feeling and dig through it. So today's video is about shadow work because I've been making stuff harder on myself. I don't know if it's like the Virgo in my first house, even though I'm a Leo rising, or whatever the case may be. But analysis paralysis. I think about stuff so much, and then I compare myself to other people and want to be fully branded and perfect and all this stuff. But it's not even about that. At the end of the day, when I took some time away from pushing out content so much and feeling like I needed to be a fucking hero during the apocalypse, uh, giving people inspiration so nobody offs themselves, which is like a heavy thing. You're gonna do what the fuck you're gonna do anyway, no matter what I say. I took some time to look around at other people's stuff just to detach myself and look at the message and what I needed for myself, and not as a business person. Because with the North Node and 10, um, I'm always like, what is this business idea? What can I take? How can I steal like an artist? How can I Beyonce this shit and make my business the best of all the businesses? So with that being said, I didn't do that. I was really wanting to do shadow work, wanting to get some answers. So I looked at pick a card readings. I was looking at psychological videos and all this stuff. And I actually started looking at the content for what it was and not how it was delivered. Because I didn't care if the person had a shitty video recorded in a hotel room or a perfectly branded video with the opening credit and font and like perfect lighting and all that stuff. If the message fucking sucked, like the message was more important. Like, are you doing your job? Are you conveying what you need to? So I realized that that was another program that needed to disappear, the program of perfection. If I am to deliver a message, which is clearly the case, I have my Venus, which is your value, what you bring to the fucking table here, right? And I cuss a lot, and I'm proud of that. I like it. It's my exclamation point. It makes me feel like bar. So Gemini is the sign of the messenger. I have it in the 11th house. I am supposed to bring value to the 11th house, which is the internet, the humanity, the collective, right? Through teaching, which is Gemini, words, thoughts, and sharing. I have been working in circles. I have bright ideas every day. And that's not to be like a front or anything. It's just how our designs work. Like I get downloads. I have ideas about stuff all the time. I don't write them down. I talk to my husband about them, who's like, at this point, because he's like, what are you gonna do with this stuff? Or either he's being enlightened by it, I don't know, whatever. But I talk about a lot of stuff that probably a lot of people that could benefit from. I get the idea to do a podcast all the time, even if I don't show my face, where I just like talk like a late night one. And I don't do it because I'd be so worried about the other stuff. That was blocking this whole process. And that's why shadow work is important. Shadow work allows you to see what the blockages are, what the shit is there that was never meant to be in your way, that is stopping you from manifesting or creating what you actually want for yourself. Because there is nothing that is in your mind, that is in your idea of what you want for yourself, that is not a part of your plan in some way, unless you were being distracted by the program and stuff. But you know, we can sort that sort of stuff out, which is what today's video is actually about. I'm going to start making more content. I'm just going to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And guys, it's going to be random. Some days it might be audio, some days it might be meditation. I am going to go with the fact that I am a manifesting generator. Look into human design, because learning about that shit has totally changed everything. I'm meant to do stuff randomly. I'm a Leo in 12. I'm creative when I want to be. And this is my job. I have to rock with it in this way and deliver these messages. And I can't get stuck in doing readings all the time and helping individuals, because it stops me from helping the main people I'm helping, which is the whole, the freaking whole. I'm actually at a point where I'm considering, like, do I want to keep doing readings? Because I decided to start doing readings when everybody's going through a spiritual awakening, right? I feel like a nurse at the beginning of COVID. Like these readings are crack and they get booked, and I'm really excited about it. But sometimes I have to take time off because the emotions in it, and I have my own life. But people are like, it's like my ER is packed. I'm processing it as fast as I can, but like people are like, hey, what about me? And blah, blah, blah. And it's too much. That's counterproductive to everybody. So that'll be another shadow work moment. But I wanted to put that just out there in general. We're all trying our best to balance and still go through our process. So while I'm helping others, I can't pause my process because stuff like this, shadow work stuff happens. Like I was shut down. I was depressed for 2 weeks and I couldn't figure out why, but I was taking on so much sadness and energy from everybody else doing readings and not handling my own shit. Like at this point, I've decided I need to get a divorce. There's a lot going on in my life. I'm moving. You see all these like boxes behind me and stuff. There's stuff I actually have to do too. So just to show y'all how shadow work works, that's me doing shadow work right there. I love this job. I love talking to people, and I love actually being able to feel like I'm handing out a lifesaver. I can't stop that hero shit. I think it's the Leo thing, but I really do want to help people. And it really stems from being somebody who had been depressed for like 30 years. I'm going to say my whole life. Like I wasn't born depressed, but things were not really great during childhood, like early on in childhood. My parents got divorced before I was 2. And then after that, it was just sort of like, hey, both parents were stuck with a kid by a partner that they didn't really know, because they just started hooking up in high school and got married because that was the rule then. And then it didn't work out. So I was like the leftover remnant of a relationship, and I wasn't really hugged or loved. Like even this week, I was looking back thinking about like childhood pictures and stuff. There are none. I have like one baby picture. I don't know where that is. It's just sort of like I was I don't want to say forgotten ornament. I was there, but so I really know what it's like to feel like not being here. The first time I told anybody I wanted to kill myself, it wasn't the first time I thought about it. I think the first time I thought about it was 7. But the first time I told somebody that I feel like I'm really about to try this was 11. The first time I tried to actually do it, I took like a whole thing of Tylenol PM. I was 16. I guess it wasn't my time because that shit didn't work, but I was woozy as fuck. So I slept for a good time too. It's just been a recurring role. I was miserable for a long time, very much so. So when I want to help people, it's because I remember what that feeling is. I never want anybody to feel like every day they're alive, but they're just waiting to die. I'm alive because I have to be, and I don't want to say courageous, but I'm not going to kill myself. But I don't want anybody alive feeling dead. I was dead alive. I was buried within myself. I was on life in auto. And that's where Basic as Fuck came from. That was the original name of this page before Extra Rise. And Basic as Fuck was like, hey, I'm just a conduit. I just have stuff coming through me. I don't know what I'm really doing here. But I'm such a shell of a person. I want to help people not feel like a shell. I have all this information. I haven't learned how to apply it to myself, but I'm going to share it. And that's how the page started. Over time, I started learning how to walk it like I talk it, which is how this shadow work video came up. Um, Implementing the things that I've been teaching to other people. And I was slowly discovering that basic thing is not it. Actually, the issue is I'm extra as fuck, which is how the page changes. I was so extra as fuck in general, just as a person, like being gifted, being a talker, just like my energy is fucking extra. And I shut that down because a lot of people don't know what to do with that. They either embrace it and want to suck the life out of it just because they want a piece of it for themselves, or they get scared by it or jealous of it and they hate it and they make it something else. Like people assume a lot of times like I'm light skinned, I'm bougie. I am from Baltimore. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. I lived downtown. I grew up with rats. The only bouge to me, I guess, is the appearance of what the stereotypical light-skinned Black woman is to other people, but that's more of the projection thing that you have to learn while you're doing shadow work. And I'll do a whole another video on projection and the fact that nobody actually sees themselves. They only see reflections of themselves through other people in order to better find self. So realizing that, I had to say, fuck people. I'm going to be extra and I'm going to embrace myself. Embracing was step one. Now digging up the roots, clearing out the dirt so that the light can shine through fully is where I'm at. And it's uncomfortable as fuck, guys. So when I just made myself emotional, fuck. When I was digging through my shadow work, I came up with a couple steps because I'm like, I can't keep feeling like this or I'm gonna smoke a blunt. I can't keep feeling like this. I need to come up with something, formula of some sort that allows me to take hold of these feelings that are coming up and transmute it. Because if you want to manifest, if you want all of your power, right, you got to take the parts that were tarnished, clear those off, and then resend it back into the universe. So whatever is burnt is going to get reborn, grow back again, and your power is stronger. You are burning off the ash. I'm thinking like a rocket, right? You're burning off the fuel so that you go faster. You're burning out the shadow so that your light burns brighter. And I think this formula will be good for everyone, especially people who have anxiety or depression. They tell me I was bipolar. No, ma'am. I have my sun in 12th and my moon in the fucking 7th. Like they're right across from each other. My shit is sort of weird, but my feelings don't match how I look sometimes, but that comes from the chart immediately. But my mom was completely different from my dad, which is why they didn't work out. So I had to act one way with my dad and one way with my mom. So it looks like I have contrasting things. There is an explanation for everything spiritually, astrologically, and on a very human level. So if ever you need an answer, no, you can find it. Just there's a rhyme and a reason for everything. And I think hope is the one thing that should never be distinguished. Hope is the one thing that keeps us alive. I mean, I don't know if I had hope during those. I think I did. Maybe that's what kept me alive, y'all. Hope, or my soul knew that this was supposed to be the goal. From what I can gather, I've always been meant to climb the tree of death from the bottom to the top. So when I made it up there, I could yell from the top and tell everybody else how to do it. I've been trying to do this for 3,000 years, by the way. Usually once I get to the top of the tree, somebody kills me. So let's keep that on here just in case. Hoping that this is the one. This is the life. So without further ado, I wanted to really give y'all some background and just stop hiding myself so much. I was making, if you go look at my old videos, you'll see I was very detached and just sending out information because I wasn't sure of who I was. And even though I sort of knew who I was afraid to share that because I've been bullied and ostracized so much. But guys, I started this page at literally the night after ego death just to share memes and stuff so other people wouldn't be sad while I was sad. So maybe we could laugh together. It's up to almost 50,000 people now. That idea that people don't want to hear what I have to say, or they don't like me, or I'm too quirky or erratic or eccentric is not true. That was a lie. You just got to find your people. And I hope that I'm able to share that with you guys in general, or that little piece of me reflects in you and helps you do the same. So shadow work. What is shadow work? Oh, I just did that shit, huh? Shadow work is the mental process, the spiritual process of pulling up, or not even purposely pulling up. Sometimes you can sit down and decide to do a video or a note or a journal once a week, just to clear some stuff up, just to make sure you're keeping A1. But the real shadow work happens when you're not trying. It's the triggers that pop up on a day-to-day basis, the random stuff that happens that reminds you that you're still hurting. So shadow work is the process of actively trying or beginning or allowing, I like that, allowing yourself to heal. Shadow work is being willing to open the closet and talk to whatever demons come out. So I have a strategy for a process of shadow work called What the Fuck. So I'm going to teach you the steps. There's a W, a T, and an F. We're going to go through the slides. What the fuck? Shadow work. So W, what was the trigger? Say you're at work. And I love examples. People need stories. Say you're at work, right? Doing your little thing, and your nosy ass office mate comes over to you like, hey, so you've been working really hard today. And then they walk off, right? Now, we don't know what your coworker meant. They could have just been saying, hey, I happen to notice you today. Really good work, right? But imagine that when you were younger, you were called lazy all the time. Imagine that no matter what you did, somebody was always like, go outside, go play, go do A, B, C, and D. You're always not doing anything. So when this coworker said to you, oh, looks like you're working really hard today, you immediately freeze. You were irritated. It fucked up your working. That is the first step, the W. What was the trigger? What pissed you off? What was the feeling? This can happen with a sad trigger, angry trigger, just something that freezes you up and makes suddenly your body feel, and I'm trying to touch my mind, makes your body feel like somebody has you fucked up. So what was the trigger? That's the first thing you start with. What just upset me? What about what this person said upset me? Was it based in reality? Have you not been working hard? If that's not the case, then you need to dig a little deeper. So first, I'd say look at the value of what that person says. Was it legit? Was this a reflection of something that yourself wanted to tell yourself, but you were refusing to see? What was the trigger? And was it a projection? Does this have nothing to do with me? Or is it based in reality? That is the W. T, trace the trigger to its root. So at that moment that person realized, hold on, I think this person has me fucked up. What do you mean working hard today? Instead of going off, because after that, you're going to be passive aggressive to somebody. You're going to go find that coworker like, oh, girl, you eating lunch again? You're going to find a way to be messy, because when you're hurt people hurt people. So instead of taking that energy and throwing it back at that person, right? Because you don't know what that intention was. You don't even know don't care. It doesn't matter. If that person came to say something to you because they're miserable, they got too much time on your hand. Girl, ain't you supposed to be doing something? But don't worry about them. So trace the trigger to its root. So, all right, if you weren't a person who is lazy or who hasn't been worked, if you work like this all the time, if this is your ethic, right? Then you know that person is not saying anything real to you. The root would be the laziness. So you sit with it for a moment. Why am I upset when people refer to my work ethic? Pinpoint the thing that made you mad after you call it out. It's like calling a spade a spade. Call a demon by its name. You know how in scary movies they have to get the name of the demon to exercise it? That's what you're doing. Find the name of that demon that is lurking in your shadow and your subconscious and call that shit out. So in this case, you say lazy. Lazy is the trigger. And then you're like, how is my perception of me being lazy changed who I am as a person? That's what the F is. Find the lie or limiting belief. What is not true about you? If that is your work ethic all the time and you work really hard, there's a possibility that maybe you work so hard all the time because somebody used to call you lazy and you've been doing too much, not feeling satisfied with yourself, because there's always this thought you're running off of feeling like you're lazy instead of running off of the fact that you love what you do or you want to build something amazing. So you're finding the lie in the trigger, in the root of the trigger. So now this person is like, okay, I just got upset because somebody called me lazy. I'm absolutely not lazy. I do work like this all the time. But now I need to consider, damn, if I've been doing this work like this for the wrong reason, is this why I'm upset? Blah, blah, blah. You need to trace every outcome that has happened based upon your thoughts that you were lazy or that other people told you that were lazy. You are finding the lie or the limiting belief. A limiting belief is something that is stopping you from growing. A lie is something that is stopping you from seeing yourself. So that's not cool. That's why this WTF is the thing. So once you You find that once you sit down, and sometimes you got to cry. Sometimes you got to go to the bathroom, because keep in mind, this person is at work, and let that shit out. When you feel the feelings coming up, don't stop them, because that is your blessing. That is your transmutation. When those tears come up, when that anger comes up, when you need to go run or jog or whatever it is you do to get that feeling out, to think, to process it, to be one with the feeling, sit with it so that you can get it out. Because when you open up that closet to look at that demon and have that conversation and find out who you are, you're letting that demon out. You're letting them be. And then if it doesn't apply, you can let that go. It's not your demon anymore. That's when that person who thinks you're lazy, they don't know how great you are. They're missing out. They can think whatever they want to. It doesn't stop your bag. You dig? So once you do that and you realize, hey, that wasn't even my characteristic. That is not me. Or maybe it used to be me. Or if it is me right now, I can change that, because I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the way people perceive me. But nothing is permanent. Understand that your power is in knowing the full truth about you. The most power you can have here is power of self. You can't control anything but your relationship with you. And that is what this process is for. So after you find that limiting belief or lie, and you're like, I got this, cool. I understand why I'm upset. I'm not so upset no more. I've cried about it. Now you got to replace that space in your subconscious. This is the fun part, the light work. We talk about shadow work so much, and the difficulty of it. But nobody talks about what you do after you boo-hooed and your eyes are puffy and you're like, shit, damn, my life fucked up. Because sometimes after shadow work, you get more sad. Like, I didn't even realize I had all this in here. I can't imagine I have this much work left. So no, light work is the capper, the finisher, the completion, to bring it back around so that you can begin working towards a goal and not just sitting in that feeling of the limiting belief or the lie or the fact that people lied to you or people that did bad stuff to you as a child or whatever the case may be. So you're going to replace the trigger with an affirmation. I am a hard worker. If this is somebody who was called lazy, how about not even that? That's not even a good one. You don't want to have to be hard all the time. I work with my energy. I work with my flow. That's an affirmation. You replace that bad thought, that negative, that lie, that pattern, that habit. You replace that with something else that is going to build you, that works with who you already are or who you want to be. If you are someone who is lazy, you notice you're lazy, you notice you procrastinate. If there's not a reason behind it, like depression or anything else, if it's just something that you really want to work on, you say, I am growing. You got to treat yourself like your baby. If you have a child, it's probably easier to understand. But if not, imagine you have a baby. Imagine you just made a mistake and had a baby. Like a baby got dropped on your doorstep and you had to take care of it. How would you treat that baby? If that child said somebody called them ugly, right? You wouldn't reinforce that for that child, would you? You would tell that baby how beautiful it was. Treat yourself like your baby. Imagine, oh, even better. Imagine you are the parent of little you. I just had to do a client session and this was like this popped in my head. And I was like, this is genius. This is some caring shit. Imagine little you, imagine little 5-year-old you. I think 5 is such a precious age. It's like first grade. They're just getting in school, just getting around other kids. And they're starting to get out in the world and stuff is real fragile. Kids can be cruel. So imagine 5-year-old you, right? You are now in charge of 5-year-old you. This is inner child work. What do you want to give you? What do you know is special about little you? What does little you need? What did you need when you were little? Make those affirmations. I am an artist. I am love. I am enough sometimes is a good enough affirmation. If you have nothing else in that moment, I am enough because I was born. I was chosen for this. Other people are not here. Other people possibly weren't even born, but you were. You have a body and there's a waiting list outside of Earth for people who want to get into these bodies. These are like the hottest new car, Tesla. Okay? People want to come to Earth to be able to experience the senses. They want to do the tourist thing. This is a planet ruled by Venus. This is about food, fucking weed, wine, all those senses and things we can feel here because this is the only place we can feel in this universe. People want to be here. So I want to extend my light, what I'm working on, so that people can enjoy this experience more. Because right now we're a little imprisoned on this planet, but it's temporary and you can still find your heaven on earth by creating it within yourself. And when you create it within here, it will expand outwards. I know this because during this time, I actually did make that happen for myself. I'm in the middle of some reconstruction, as you can see, but I feel like I was building on shadow. Now I'm building on light, transmuted shadow. Like my shadow's here, but my shadow helps me be stronger. My shadow helps me recognize that other people have shadows, and it's okay. Nobody's perfect. Nobody can judge you because they got their own shit. And a lot of times, most people are scared of their shadow, scared of what's back there, scared of the negative parts. If you do your shadow work and you know who that person is, who's gonna say anything to you? Like, ma'am, you're a liar. Yeah. Sometimes I get really nervous about stuff because my mom used to abuse me, and my immediate reaction was to people please. That's a response to something. But you only needed to know that in your head. If you know yourself, who's gonna beat you, baby? So I hope that this was super duper handy. I had fun. I would like to do stuff like this more often. I'm about to do some readings now. Pushing through. Take it easy on me, y'all, as I'm getting these readings done. Have patience, please. I know I have turnaround times, but I am working with the flow of my energy. So, I mean, like, for real, it's crazy. Like, if you want a refund because you don't want to wait no more, that's fine. We can do that. But don't write me and guilt trip me like it's personal. Like, you'd be amazed how many people write me like, hey, just checking in. Then when I don't write back in like a day, because I have to give myself some time. The inbox is crazy. I'll see another message pop up with like a million question marks, like, oh my gosh, you're scamming me. What? Do you know how stressful? Like, I've been waking up with anxiety. I feel like I don't have time to wake up. Like, I feel like my car is starting. Like, oh, I gotta get over here and save lives because people are writing me. But that is just another triggering of my victim mentality. I'm not a victim. Y'all can get a refund, but you're not gonna call me a scammer if I'm willing to give them a refund. After I give out somebody's reading, I've received hella responses back. Like, you know what? It was worth the wait. I'm sorry for calling you a scammer. I actually been scammed before, so I was a little nervous about using psychic services. That's another shadow work example. If I had gave in and felt sad, I would have quit. I would have wrote y'all a post like, I'm not doing readings anymore because I'm overwhelmed and people just blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. This is about me learning my boundaries and fixing the stuff that has to be fixed in me while helping other people, but not allowing myself to be depleted. So balance. I'm thankful for this opportunity, this job, and everything that's coming up, guys. So let me know how this video worked for you. My last slide. I love you as an affirmation too. You can say it to yourself, because if you don't think anybody else loves you, as long as you love yourself, you got it. You are God and God is you. God gave you a spark for this experience. God is enjoying this place through you. God wants to see what is the universe, whatever you want to call it, what is possible through you as an avatar experiencing this. So live your life, baby. Have a great day.